Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back. So today's video is a bit of a PSA and speculation-based topic regarding the disc system, or rather lack thereof, in ultrakaiju Monster Rancher. Now, the game is releasing in a couple days, and we've already discussed the recent unlisting of older trailers only for them to release a new one, and I think we now know why that's the case. Now, I did find out about this thanks to an upload from Mr. Moosebones, whom I have mentioned in the past. Go check them out if you're a fan of Monster Rancher, but basically, the Western versions of the game will not have a disc system that allows you to search up music and use them as a catalyst to create a monster. I guess the term disc isn't really correct because there's obviously no discs involved anymore. Instead, you use a directory, but you guys get what I mean. Instead, the Western version of the game is going to work off of the keyword system that those whom have played the Game Boy Advance Monster Rancher titles will be familiar with, though it does have a slight difference, which could potentially have major implications, though we don't quite know just yet. So if you didn't already know, the Monster Rancher Advance games allow you to input a keyword, which will then generate itself into a monster, much like it would with a song, but instead using words. Nothing super crazy here when you consider how the disc system basically uses a code from the discs. These games have some sort of algorithm that runs off of the different combinations of letters you put together. In Ultra Kaiju Monster Rancher's Western Edition, we see that you actually put in a keyword and sub-keyword, so there's two categories opposed to just putting in one word. Moose had speculated that this was just to make it more in line with the Eastern version of the game that also includes two fields, and I have to say that I agree that that's probably the case. That said, what does this mean for monster generation, and how does the game know to relate these words to one another? Again, this is a question we don't have the answer for yet, and I'm sure the folks over at Legend Cup will probably figure that stuff out before any of us, but considering that this does seem to be a system that was put together rather late into development, I do think that they are likely going to go for the quickest and simplest solution due to time constraints. Originally, the game was going to have the regular database, and we don't exactly know why they removed it, but considering they removed the old trailer and swapped it for this new one that showcases the mechanic, to me it likely means that they ran into some sort of issue with copyright in the West, as copyright laws can differ between regions, and just because you're able to do something in one country doesn't mean you necessarily can do it in another, and for whatever reason that seems to be the case, that the directory had some issues. Now, I do have a theory as to how this is going to work, which could be totally wrong, but I think it makes a lot of sense, and if I were developing a game and had to put in a new system really quick, this is how I'd probably do it. So I think primary words will dictate monster species, whilst secondary or sub-keywords will dictate monster subspecies. We could also see the reverse to this, where the sub-keywords dictate species and the primary dictates subspecies, but the fact that they use the term sub-keyword makes me think that maybe it's going to be related to subspecies, just because, you know, sub. Now, that said, this is completely piggybacking off the idea that the two keywords will not relate to one another. It is very possible that the two fields are just to keep it in line with the other versions of the game, and it actually ends up putting these two words together and just putting them in an algorithm like it would in the advanced titles. That's definitely possible too. Monster Rancher's mechanics for randomizing monsters, whether it be through the CD system, the word system, the drawing system on DS, or whatever, has always been extremely advanced for its time and fascinating. So I'm not going to pretend I know exactly how it's going to work or how it does work. In truth, anybody telling you that they know how it's going to work in these upcoming titles is either lying or a developer. Anyways, guys, this was mostly just a quick PSA because I wanted to sort of both let you guys know what the situation is regarding monster generation, but also add my own little speculation to the mix because this is something that a lot of people do care about. Some people prefer the CD system, others prefer this word generation, and I think given the low marketing we've seen for this game in the West, coupled with the Eastern versions still having the directory, this could lead a lot of people down the path of not knowing that this is a thing, and maybe it's important enough to them that they would or wouldn't buy the game based off of that. But yeah, other than that, I will see you guys on October 20th, where we will be streaming Ultra Kaiju Monster Rancher for its first day of launch, and like I said, special thanks to Mr. Moosebones for bringing this to my attention. The dude's a Monster Rancher Chad. Anyways, all that being said, if you guys do want to stay up to date on Monster Rancher or the monster taming genre in general, definitely subscribe to my channel because I put out new videos every single day. You can check out my Twitter, my Discord, and my Patreon, all links below. Special thanks to the patrons, especially Jim Hamilton, Dro Ghost, Dark Persona, and Exodus, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.